Hello, everyone. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like this channel. It will help to spread the good message that and the prophetic message that is entailed here. I am going to give you a little bit more information about what will possibly be taking place in New Jerusalem once it is firmly established, and after Armageddon. If you haven't already listened to there are a couple other videos that speak on this. You, I have several of my videos that have New Jerusalem in the title, and I will encourage you to please review that because I believe it will give you background insight into the message that I'm going to speak about here. And this is in regards to the literal on the ground governance and location and procedures and policies that will be in place for when the children of the slaves are finally um, released from their former slave masters here in America, and then they are sent of uh, out of what will be left of the United States and sent into the lands of their ancestors, which are right here in North America. Of course, North and South America, but it will begin small and then will get larger and larger as we get our weight up. So I live here in California on the West Coast, and with the signs and symbols that I've been seeing and capture, it looks to be more and more so that this is where New Jerusalem will begin. It's not where it will end, but it is where it will begin. And that will be all right with me. Every climate, every seasonal type of climate is along this long line of coast. Um, and that it has natural resources to sustain a large population. I'm talking about the whole coast, by the way. Its width, I have been given some idea, but it may be larger. I don't think it's smaller, but I do think it will may be larger. That it has the Pacific Ocean, which is a spiritual prophetic ocean. It has the Ring of Fire that's contained or is part of the Ring of Fire. It has a historical resonance of the caliphs ruling in this part of or a nation of black women who were the reigning as kings in this part of the world. Of course, there have been other places throughout the nation, and of course, those will probably, most likely in the future, will be reclaimed. But for the initial part, it may start on this part of the world, in this part of the world, excuse me. Now, in a previous video, I have stated that many things that people are naysaying about artificial intelligence and about the surveillance state, that they're warning of, that's going to be a detriment to all. I believe so, in the wrong hands, which is in right now. But all those technologies, understand, is going to be given to the slave. There, that's part of our coming out of with abundance, is that everything that has been built under this regime will be snatched away and will be given to us. It's part of the reparations package that this nation has unequivocally decided that they would not pay with what was asking, which was basically money, but which is, dollars are not the real wealth. It is the land, it is the people that's the real wealth. And so that is going to be our reparations. So, in the right hands, which is going to be in the hands of Kingdom Crisis Administration, it's going to be a governmental body made up of the true Hebrew Israelites. The primary attendees are probably going to be from the tribe of Judah, since that is God's special possession. And then the other tribes will be under their care, and then of course the natural resources and all the technologies will be given to them for their upkeep, right? So we have in our coffers here as a people, we've been trained in this country. We've been given the abilities in every aspect of this society, so that when we are released, we'll be able to put those tools and put that intellectual property into action. And so the tribe of Judah will basically be running the show. They have been anointed in order to do so, and each one of them knows where they're going to fit into that government, just like what you see today, with the current United States government, or with Parliament, or with whatever's going on in Russia. All of them, there are hundreds of people that come together, and they work in different areas of the human population, to want to mete out the resources of that nation, which is what they're supposed to do: mete out the resources of that of the lands and of the earth to the people, so that they can thrive. Now we know that that's not happening in any of these current administrations, because it's one ruled by greed and by vice, and by through the hand of devil doing and mischief making, right? Well, with the tribe of Judah, that's not going to happen. With the tribe of Judah, it's going to be for righteousness. It's going to be for the uplift of man, male and female, and ultimately mankind. But it starts with us first. And they have been anointed, and what their rule is through the communication from the Most High. And the angels, of course, will be here too, just like with the wicked, they had the demons working with them closely. Well, the angels will be working with us closely. And I said in in other videos and other messages that these angels will probably, for a time, be placed under our authority, for the tribe of Judah, under that authority, to basically to ensure, to enforce all the measures that these men and women will be setting out, right? And some of them are talking to you even on this platform. So, and some of them ain't no joke. So, so that there's not rebellion in the land. Because everybody wants to be a king, everybody wants to be a queen, and eventually that will happen. Don't think small, think big. It will start small, but it will grow out to the globe. It will grow out to the solar system, and so on. Just hanging tight, right? We all just got to get it together first. And so in New Jerusalem, you're going to have that head. They already been given their commissions, right? They already kind of have an idea of what they are to do, and where their expertise will lie. Some will lie in building, some will lie in psychology, some will lie in doctoring, some will lie in dance and music. I mean, every facet. We just haven't been given the chance in order to do that the right way. But in New Jerusalem, that government will set that precedent. Okay, so it's going to be marvelous. But also, to all the measures that people are so spooky about AI, about smart cities, about the control grid, about what they call the surveillance state. Yes, that is going to be in New Jerusalem, but it's going to be done in a manner that respects the dignity and the sanctity of each individual. But there's some things that we're going to have to observe. There's some things that we're going to have to ensure, because again, we come out of this. We're going to come out of this current reality. I mean, some of us are half crazy, and we do need help, right? And we need to set the air straight, right? And we need to we need to hit the ground running. So this is not to beat up on you, Black folks, Black sisters and brothers. This is to help you, and because it's going to be people that have your same complexion and your same hair types, and that they've been through the same thing that you've been through. These are not going to be the uppity doopity the uppity Negroes that we've had in our system that were sellouts. No, those people will not be in the platform. It's going to be other people, right? It's going to be people that many of them you're going to know personally, because they're going to be from your families, actually. So they won't be unusual to you. They won't be insignificant to you. They're going to be people you know, people you loved. So technology is inert, right? It doesn't have its own mind. It is controlled, or it is under the influence of human endeavors. All right. And so, depending on what kind of hands it is in, that's the vein it's going to go. So, yes, people have something to be worried about because the hands that is in are not hands of goodness. There are nefarious hands that is in. They're from people who do not mean anybody on this planet well. They are they are um, some of them are literally probably undiagnosed psychotic individuals. And some of them are probably even homicidal maniacs. There's evidence of that. Now, it's got to be snatched out of their hands, unfortunately. But fortunately, actually, fortunately. And unfortunately, that is going to be cataclysmic. But it's then going to be given to hands that absolutely want your uplift, that are benevolent in nature. Even though these individuals may be imperfect, they're a little bit further along in perfection than what the masses are. They know the program, okay? And they want you to succeed. And so, in their hands, the technology is going to go down a benevolent road so that even though you are there are surveillance when you walk down the street and when you are on the road or when you are engaging people, um, it won't be a he said she said thing. All they will have to do is kind of type it up or look at it and say, okay, let's look at what happened. Let's take an objective look together at what the situation was. Why were you on the street? Why were you talking to this person? Oh, it can answer itself. It will answer itself. And then let's deal with that. Let's deal with it in truth, where there are the lessons and where there are the healings and where there needs to be discipline, right? So that is, it's going to be the holistic thing. It's not about beating you over the head. It is about getting you into a stance like um, any parent would do, any good parent would do with their child, right? Is that you're not uh, disciplining them in order to just tear them apart. The heart of in the hearts of our people, in particularly even in our imperfect state, is that when we're disciplining the child, we want them to do better. We want them to go into the right vein, right? It's just that because we have been disciplined in a way that was brutal, and we haven't been given any other tools to discipline, right? Even though they're out there, is that sometimes it turns to abuse. That's not the way it's going to be when we are given all the tools and we are being able to grab a hold of the things that have been hidden away from us. We're grab a hold of the equipment and the technology and the ancient writings and know-how of how we are to engage each other, how we engage each other in every aspect of human activity, okay? Rightly. And so to begin to re-practice that again will be quickly reclaimed. So in that light, I want you to consider what all these technologies in the right hands, in our hands, how that is actually going to benefit us. So initially, righteousness is going to be forced, okay, and then, uh, uh, um, and then ultimately it will be like, okay, whether we like it or not, this is the right thing because we can see the results of it. Now, what the Most High has given to me is that when in the Bible it says that He will quickly speed it up, that it just won't be a long, drug out thing, right? And it could be between 3 to 7 years before, if there's a little bit of pushback from our folks, from the time that we are in New Jerusalem, when we're set free, we do the Exodus, and we have this large migration of Black folks being literally kicked out of parts of a big part of America. There is going to be an Exodus, folks. There is going to be an Exodus. And it's going to follow along guidelines of the Bible. And when we are then ushered in into New Jerusalem, it will be ushered in with the abundance, right? Not only the land, not only the areas, but we're also going to get a lot of the stuff that they kept from us. We're going to get all that too. That's all going to be given to us. But we're going to be given the land, and we're going to also be able to refashion the areas to our liking, to our betterment, and to our uplift. And we'll have that supernatural force aiding us in our endeavors. All the resources will be given into us. And the opposite hand is that the throes of anarchy and chaos will be all around us, so that those forces will be occupied with one another and they will not be interfering during our uplift. So it could be as short as 3 years before we get together and for it becomes by by routine, or it could be up to 7 years. But the administration, the governmental body of New Jerusalem is going to quickly reclaim this land. I mean, it's going to be quick. Okay, it's not going to be drawn out. So it could be 3 years or up to 7 years. And you think about that in relation to the hundreds of years that we have been in bondage. Okay, it's been a long, long time. So in relation to that, it is going to be very, very quick when the Lord says he will speed it up. So I just want to end off that the surveillance state that will be New Jerusalem is going to be one rooted in love and rooted in our uplift and rooted in right-mindedness and righteousness. It's going to be rooted in the hearts of the matter. Is not going to be rooted in trying to stomp you down. Okay. And so we have to look at the technology in that way. So when we do, like when you see that even on your phones, you can be tracked. They know who you are. Well, all that information, all that technology is going to be given to the house of Judah. That's what the creator of the universe is bringing up for me right now. And so those individuals, primarily will be the hotspot, right? What also the last thing that the creators bring up right now is that when you think about it, that there were representatives from every tribe, okay, and that they sectioned it off like 12,000 for each, I believe it says in the Bible. So, and that may be the case to represent the interests of the millions, because some say that the number of them keeping us at 30 million may not be the right number of how many of us are in this land. It may be up to 70 to 100 million people, and that's okay. Along the West Coast, all of us can fit in. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Be more than enough room, and we'll be in areas. We'll have our little city, neighborhood, community areas that we're in by family plots. So and we won't be scrunched in. Acre, half an acre, maybe even 2 or 3 acres. It's going to be understand that many things that are dormant about the earth are now awakening. So there are going to be rivers and waters and fruits and things that are already busting through. The earth itself is shifting. And as I'm told, that Three-Eye Atlas was a part of that shifting that was going on. Anyway, I'm speaking a lot, and I'm sorry to make this long, but there's just so much for us to look for and so much for me to say. I can't seem to get it out all. But I hope that you keep listening, keep checking back here, and hopefully this will illuminate some things for you, and that you can bring them to the fore. Because the more of us that speak out, the more we're speaking it into existence. So thank you for listening. Take care.